What's up, guys? Scott Lett here, owner of Iron City Power Washing. I am headed to the beach, taking the babies and the wife for a little vacation to Orange Beach. I'm gonna get away from the business for a little bit, just freshen up, man, because we have been working about 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. the past week. We've covered about almost 200,000 square feet. That's with 3 machines running constantly. So we're about to turn over this job. It's a big job for a local construction company, but it's time for a break. I'm going to take 4 days off, and then hopefully we'll finish this job up early next week. So but just wanted to just send out just some words of encouragement. I know there's a lot of guys in my area that I talk to that just aren't that busy, and they're newer guys. They're asking me, like, what is the trick? The answer to that is there is no trick. There's no special way to get these jobs. It happens based on being consistent. I think I made a video not too long ago about how there's just this big focus on digital marketing, right? And there should be, but if you put all your eggs in one basket and you're just paying for SEO on your website, on Google My Business, and that's all you are relying on, that's not gonna bring you to your full potential, right? Don't miss out on the relationships, man. A lot of our jobs with my business partner, they come from relationships, people we know. I'm constantly organically posting on Facebook and LinkedIn, just showing people my work. And people, if they constantly see you and your work, you kind of become their power washing guy in the area, whether they know it or not. So when an opportunity comes where they need power washing done or any form of exterior cleaning, they're going to call you. Like, you're going to be fresh on their mind. So I just post organically on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's free. People get to see my work. I'm posting these big jobs. They're like, well, this guy can handle the residential and commercial. And that has led to a lot of work. I know a lot of people in this area. This is where I grew up, as well as my business partners. So you have to leverage your relationships, and that's a big part of it. If you just, swipe a card or have, auto pay on for your website and just consistent Google campaigns, and that's it. I mean, I don't know why you would just focus on one thing, because that's what YouTube's telling you. That's what people are telling you. You build this fancy website, you run Google campaigns, that's all you need. That's false, okay? How did people used to advertise their business? Like, what are ways that people used to do? What's the old school stuff? And I know I'm being repetitive, but it's so true. Like, you have to build relationships, man. If you're unable to do that, then you're going to struggle. You have to, leverage the people know. Do you know project managers? Do you know property managers? Do you know restaurant owners? Do you know people who own gas stations? Do you know people who work at universities? Do you know people who work at school systems, apartment complexes, HOAs? Like, there are people that are in those different realms of this industry who could help you. Are you in a business group, a BNI group? Are you posting on the local business pages? Are you contacting painters who don't want to pressure wash and do the prep work? They just want to show up and paint. There's so many just avenues of work out there to where you can make money. Do you know people who own fleet companies, moving companies, where you can get on a schedule to come out and clean their fleet every single month? There's just so many things you can leverage. Sitting back and waiting for your phone to ring, you might be able to do that year 5 or 6, which is kind of where we're at, but the first few years, guys, you're grinding, like you are making it happen. I just think there's this false promise almost to where if you pay this much money, you have this website, you're going to get this much work. It's not how it works, okay? We do have a website. We are not paying for any Google campaigns, but I have leveraged all the relationships that I can think of, because you know what happens? You go do some work for a buddy who's a project manager, or anyone who hires you who's in the multifamily realm of this industry. You do a good job, they know a lot of people. They're going to talk, you know. Project managers talk, property managers talk, people talk, and that's when the word of mouth kind of kicks in. So just between our relationships, between, you know, word of mouth, between our sign at our shop, between our nice website that we don't pay a whole lot of money for, we are slammed. But it's all about being consistent, okay? And I just post organically on Facebook, you know, just so people see our work, people see who we are and what we do. And like, for instance, I just saw a buddy of mine. I was getting a tag for my wife's car, and he knew I moved back, and he was actually like my best friend in high school. We just kind of just grew apart. But anyways, I just saw him, and he was like, man, I saw you're doing really well in your pressure washing business. And he's a project manager. They build like apartments and stuff. But he's like, man, I need to get you out to clean some of my properties, you know? So word got to him that, you know, I'm back, that our company's doing well, and he just hasn't reached out, but he saw me, and that I mean, he brought up the conversation of possibly hiring us, you know. So just know, guys, like, if you're new to this industry, if you're wanting to hop in, you got to grind, man. You got to think of every possible way to get your name out there. It's more than just getting jobs. It's building a brand. It's getting your name out there. It's making yourself known. How can you make your company different from everyone else? How can you make your company easy to remember? That is the key, okay? I think our name, our logo, me and my business partner are just well-known guys in this area. Our work speaks for itself. And those things have kind of put us in a position where we don't have to pay a whole lot of money on marketing. You know what I'm saying? And that's been huge. We're saving so much money there, and we're making, I mean, our ROI on the little amount of money we're spending on marketing is incredible, you know. But it takes time to get there. I think a lot of guys, they hop into this industry because they see the more veteran guys who've made it doing really well, making this much money, and they just think they can hop in year one and produce those numbers. That's not realistic, man. You know, just don't let someone tell you that you can just hop in and just be rich, hit six figures. I mean, is it possible? Yes. More than likely, it's not going to happen. You know, I mean, you need to grow every year. You know, I feel like year one or two, you know, you'll probably be around 60, 70, possibly 100. Year two, potentially six figures. But your company is going to grow every year, because it's called building a book of business. When you build something, it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. You're building a business. You're not hopping to something that's already been built, right? A house is built brick by brick, and a house usually takes a while to build because it's a process. It's the same thing with a business, guys. It's a process. It takes time. You have to be patient, okay? You have to realize there's expenses too. I mean, this is the biggest thing that I've noticed with guys, especially here in Birmingham, where there's just new pressure washing guys everywhere. They'll go and build this $15,000 to $20,000 rig, and they just think because they have this nice setup and they post a picture of it on Facebook that people are just going to call and call and call because they have this nice rig. Guys, the work doesn't come with the fancy rigs. The work doesn't come with the fancy websites. The work doesn't come with getting in this fancy course and someone telling you all these things you already know or you can learn yourself. Like, don't even get me started on that stuff. The work comes with being consistent. The work comes with making your brand easy to remember. The work comes with being an honest guy with fair pricing, not low, not high. I'm talking to you guys starting off. It's just fair. You know, what is fair to you? What is fair to your customer? How are you building value? Like, I had a guy this morning ask me, say, hey, do you share, you know, what you charge per square foot, with your customers. One, I don't charge by the square foot, but I told him, I said, hey, you know, whatever you have to do to build value, because that's what your customer is paying for. They're paying money for the value you bring. They're paying for you. They're paying for your insurance. They're paying for your rig. They're paying for your expertise. They're paying for your ability to paint a clear picture of why this price. Okay, they're paying for value. All right, and how can you bring value to the conversation? How can you bring value to them understanding your price points? How can you bring value by doing a really good job on cleaning their property that other guys have failed to do? You have to build value. You have to build a brand. You have to be consistent. You have to be honest. You have to be on time. You have to be a punctual person. You have to be organized. You have to have nice uniforms. You don't have to have the fanciest truck out there that's wrapped, but you have to advertise everywhere you go. People need to see you. Like, see my hat? I'm not working today, but ICPW. Oh, that's that pressure washing company. Oh, that's that guy. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ask him, you know, how much it would charge to clean my driveway, which this stuff happens all the time. So it's more than marketing. All right, it's more than jobs. It's building a brand. It is building value. And when you do that, you are going to be successful. Okay, don't fall into the money pits of, hey, I need this Footbridge website and that's the only one that is going to work. Dudes, I don't have a Footbridge website. I don't run SEO, Google campaigns, and we making lots of money. Okay, and it's because I've taken the time to build relationships. I've taken the time to leverage my relationships. I consistently post about my business on Facebook and LinkedIn. I post pictures. I do post pictures on our Google My Business page, and we do good work, and we advertise everywhere we go. All right, and we do have a humongous sign at our shop that people see. All right, and it has helped us dominate our area. Okay, just realize, guys, if you aren't willing to grind, if you aren't really to put in the work in the early years, it's going to make the later years very tough, okay? Because you need to grow every year. And how much you grow is up to you, okay? By percentage, by numbers, however you want to do it. You need to grow every year. All right, guys. Hope this encouraged you. Find your niche, build your brand, bring value to the table, and go make money. Go build a business. Scott Litt, Iron City Power Washing.